On this episode of the Star Trek Universe podcast, we are talking about Star Trek Lower Decks 202, Kayshon, His Eyes Open, right after these winsome words with waggish wares-hawking hucksters.
Welcome to the Star Trek Universe podcast, where we talk about Star Trek and you listen. Damn it.
That's right.
My name is Matthew Carroll.
I'm David C. Robertson.
I'm sleepy, man. I tried to do the normal intro 3 times and it just failed. I kept failing.
Yeah, I know. It was okay, though.
Thanks, buddy.
I mean, we're failures. It's okay.
True. Let's talk about this Lower Decks episode. We tried to do it last week, and we both just had crazy last weeks. So, but
yeah,
we're doing it before the next one comes out, and that's what's important.
That is what's important. And if you have a problem with it, you can kiss my white ass.
We talk, you listen, damn it. This relationship is becoming a bit abusive with the listeners. I don't know what's going on tonight.
All 3 of them.
It's true. Thank you for listening, all 3 of you.
Mm-hmm.
So this episode is called what?
Kayshon, His Eyes Open.
I really liked the joke at the end. I don't remember what it was at the end of the episode. It was like,
wonderful.
When they said, where is Kayshon? Like, and they held him up and said, Kayshon, when he became a puppet.
Yes.
That was good. It was just really nice.
Yep. I enjoyed it. It was not the funniest episode I've seen of this show, but I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, it's funny. I think this one was more just for the laughs. Like, there's very little substance in this episode. I felt like there's like the thing where the mom feels like she's a micromanager, and then there's the bit about the two lower deckers. Both wanting to be the leader. And both of those felt like really thin storylines that didn't have a tight resolution to them. They just sort of, they both just had realizations, I guess. So I wasn't as satisfied with, I guess, the storytelling in this episode, which I think makes the episodes feel more memorable, more real, which I think makes the comedy land even better.
For what it's worth, whatever that might be, I liked the juxtaposition of the captain as a micromanager, and then Mariner also is just like kind of a micromanager who is determined to be in charge. And I think it was like an important little step for Mariner to realize, oh shit, I'm that person who's not even asking the rest of the crew. The rest of my crew, what needs to be done. Like, we could have gotten through this a lot easier.
You just wrote a better episode.
I think they wrote that episode.
I don't think they did, because you're drawing the comparison between her and her mother, and this episode does not do that. If this episode was about her micromanaging the crew, which it almost is, but instead they put in this third character. What's a new character? What's his name? The new guy on their shift.
I don't remember him. He's not new. He was on other episodes.
Okay. I thought I remembered him, but he's new to their shift.
Right. Jet Manhaver.
Okay, Jet Manhaver.
I guess. Or Manhaver.
That's a name. he comes on, and this episode, they juxtapose those two, and they're arguing about who should be in charge, and it ends up being about, like, them having to let go of control, which is very much what the mother is learning, or at least she's supposed to be learning. And that would have been a way better juxtaposition, I think, if it had just been Mariner and she'd just been like micromanaging the away team. And then at the end of it, she realizes she is her mother. You know, like that would have been a nice like character building thing. Yeah. But I don't know. I like your thought better. Instead they chose to have these two very similar plot lines that didn't really intersect. That would have been a nice, like, character moment, but also a humorous moment if she'd, like, realized that her and her mother are having the same struggle. And she's going, damn it, I don't want to be my mom, but I'm kind of my mom. Damn it.
The thing I liked about it, though, was that it was a bit of dramatic irony for us. Like, they didn't really connect that. And also it's funny that they had the same issue, essentially, but, like, the mother was right to micromanage at the end. She was just like, you see what happens when I don't micromanage? Our security officer got turned into a friggin' puppet.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, is I feel like they weren't trying to go, and then she chooses not to micromanage once and says, never again! It's like, it's not like bad things happened on other things. You're just embracing the side of yourself that you want to embrace, which is a funny joke. I like it. But this episode for me felt just like a series of references and jokes thrown into this collection, right? Like, that's really what most of this episode was to me. I loved Kalis' fornication helmet.
I did too.
Tindy saying, oh, neat. Safety first.
Yeah. But no, I thought it was also like a pretty good little, like, reminder to Rutherford and Tindy to speak up every once in a while and be like, hey, we got a better way to do this. Sorry, you're wrong. You know, like,
yeah, it should have been, and it definitely was Mary learning to listen. What?
I think it was like, why does everything have to be like a friggin' Full House moment with you, man? Come on.
No, I don't need to be a Full House moment.
Learn a lesson without it being like on the nose.
I don't know that they did necessarily. I don't know. You don't have to be on the nose Full House moment, but, like, you make it a joke, you make it a reference, you, like, juxtapose things, you talk about things, like, I don't know.
Sure.
It felt more like this lesson that the two of them were learning, Mr. Haver, or Manhaver.
Yeah, Manhaver. Which I liked when he opened up at the end and was, like, making fun of the dude with the mustache. Like, that was fun.
Yeah.
I don't ever remember that guy's name.
Well, I think Manhaver and Mariner are supposed to be realizing that they're similar in this episode. And, you know, it's also all about us learning about these characters, not just them learning about each other. It was about, like, I think, it was more about Mariner, it seemed, learning how to be a leader and not to only take her ideas and how to listen to other people and stuff. Tindy and Rutherford didn't seem to, I don't know, they just seemed to, like, be gleefully, like, it's not like they said, no, you're right, we should have used our ideas. They were like, no, we just let you guys because you were in charge. Like, they just seem gleefully willing to do what they're told, even at the end of the episode. Which is fine. Like, I don't think everybody has to learn a lesson every episode.
Yeah, no, I'd rather they never learn an episode, or never learn a lesson every episode. Like,
no hugging, no learning, that kind of thing.
Yes, the Seinfeld mantra, no hugging, no learning.
Which is great for the Seinfeld. I think for this show, for Star Trek, it's not great.
I feel like it's great for comedy.
Sure, I think that's true.
But I kind of do want these guys to grow and learn, honestly.
Well, like, it's the mixture of comedy and sci-fi, like, high concept, interesting sci-fi. And, like, I don't think that's been done perfectly yet.
No.
But it's being tried in various forms, and I like it. Like, we did an episode about the Orville, season 2, episode 1 this morning, and it was, you know, like, it's very, very similar. I was watching the Orville and going, like, this is Lower Decks. Like, this is kind of Lower Decks. Like, this is, Star Trek is now doing the show that is very similar to the show that was sort of being a parody of them. It's like, it seems like Orville started as a parody and is sort of drifting towards real. And, like, Lower Decks is Star Trek, and it's drifting towards parody, and they're sort of meeting in the middle in this weird, like, liminal space. I don't know, it's strange.
And I'm over here, and all I wanted was Scrubs in space.
Out of which one? Oh, Lower Decks, right?
Lower Decks, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. Just some favorite lines. I really loved, why couldn't they leave Data alone? He just wanted to feel.
That was a great line.
I really loved. Careful, Ruthie. He's going to try to collect you.
Yep. Yeah.
And when they find out that the collector has stolen the fornication helmet, Tindy goes, "This is all your fault, you pervert." No judgment.
I was very, very partial to Riker saying, "Let's see how these Packlets do with their aft hanging out." I'm kind of living for Riker on this show.
Yeah.
Like, he's been so much fun.
He's been really great. I'm actually listening right now to the audiobooks of the Picard book series.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because the one I'm listening to, I started to listen to today is the one that's Riker focused, and it's kind of telling the story of Riker between Next Generation and Picard, or at least the pieces of it. And so I've just been like, after listening to about like them talking about Riker on the bridge all day in like this serious book, then I watched this episode and I was like, oh man, now I'm not going to be able to go back. I just can't go back and like listen to him be a serious captain after seeing that.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Boimler's reference to life on the Titan being like dark and serialized.
Oh, it's so good. It's complex characters in the dark and serialized missions that it's really good. It's really, really good.
Really enjoyed it. Did you see the transporter twin thing coming?
Yes.
When he mentioned it or before?
Like, which mention? Like when he said they were beaming out of there. I was like, and he was like, well, he says when Riker, created a twin, it was like that time when there was that field, much like this field. And then he ran over to the computer and I was like, wait, are you about to beam yourself through a field that you just said is like the time Riker got a clone? I was like, that's clearly going to happen, right?
Like, they use such specific wording. I suspected they might do transporter twin before he even referenced the twin. Like when they were talking, about the conditions, I was like second chances? Like, I think I might be a little Boimler.
Yeah, I like it.
But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. And by far the funniest thing in the episode, and I know it was in the trailer, I don't care, is just them trying to beam Boimler out and him just like screaming in pain. I don't know why that's the funniest thing to me.
Yeah. My favorite lines in the whole thing was Tindy giving yeah, I got transporter cloned, and then Tindy gives Rutherford $20 or whatever, and she's like, how did you guess that? And he says, it just seemed like a Boimler thing to happen.
And I love that the transporter twin is already like naming himself something different, acting like freaking Riker. Yeah.
How do you feel about William Boimler?
Oh gosh, it's so good.
Yeah, it really is. And I'm sure we'll see that Boimler again, right?
I hope so.
We have to. There's no way we don't see that Boimler again. And like, if this show persists,
I really, really hope so. Oh gosh,
dude, have you seen The Boys? By the way,
yes.
I had no idea Boimler was that guy.
Yeah,
no idea. I had no idea.
Dennis Quaid's son, absolutely.
Yeah, no idea. Huey, right, on The Boys.
Jack Quaid is his real name.
Yeah. So I just had no idea. I don't know why. I saw a picture of him and I was like, wait, what? That guy? Because I don't know. It's just always interesting when a guy like that gets on 2 or more shows at once, you know? Like The Boys and Lower Decks being successful, whatever genre shows.
if for some reason they're doing like a late 24th century, 25th century live action show, I think every person playing these characters could play them in live action.
Oh, interesting. That's cool.
I think, anyway. Like, that's...
I know the one who plays Mariner and the one that plays Boimler, but that's it, I guess. Like, I don't know anybody from other things.
Did you ever watch A Different World?
Yeah.
You remember Jaleesa?
No.
She was like the older student who was sort of like an RA, I guess, and she dated Sinbad on the show, and then she like married the Colonel.
I said no.
Oh, I didn't hear you say no. I thought you said, I don't know.
I'm just teasing. Just joking. I'm acting like you're being rude by continuing to explain. It was just a joke.
She was also, she played a character named Robin on Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
I don't know her.
That's the mother.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's cool. I recognize her voice, but I can't place her.
That's interesting. Not really, I guess.
Oh, funny.
Second guessing how good our show is.
I just searched Lower Decks on IMDb so I could see some of the people's faces. And it came up with the episode Lower Decks before it came up with the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll do that.
What?
So this is incredibly, like, it's well done, but it's a deep cut a little bit. When Riker asks William Boimler if he wants Romulan ale, he tells the computer to play Nightbird, which was in the episode Second Chances. It's a jazz song that Riker said that he was having trouble playing the solo part to.
Uh-huh.
I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, there's so many little references like that I do not get on a lot of these shows. Or a lot of these, these episodes. Because they really go deep. I mean, and when you have the chance and you can go and like, we're going to do a episode that's a reference to this episode, and then you can go watch that episode and just pull everything out of it. I'm sure there's people in here who like know all the stuff, but I also think they like probably take the time to dig in and make as many references as possible. Yeah.
No, I know that there were things that I couldn't remember.
Yeah. There was a lot of things in there that I like knew were references, but I could not place, especially in the collector's collection and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was looking up like references and stuff online. There were several, like, I got a lot of them. And then there was stuff that, like, I had not even noticed, like, towards the end of the episode when they were talking about the piece of corn.
Oh, that was so good. Yeah.
Okay, so that is a reference to animation inconsistencies on Lower Decks.
Well, I thought it was also a reference to sometimes the pips change in the shows, too, right?
Yeah.
Like on live action. I thought it was just a reference to that in general.
It might be, but on the show, the character it happened to, Jet Manhaver, whatever, he was, in season 1, he was seen with lieutenant's rankings both times. And then Lieutenant Shax, it happened to him in Moist Vessel, where it looked like he was a commander. So, like, apparently that was intended to be a gag about their animation inconsistencies. So if you ever see an extra pip, it's just a piece of corn.
Yeah, I love that. It's just a piece of sweet street corn.
I laughed at that line way too hard.
Me too, man.
The street corn just got me.
Yeah, street corn was like a great touch. Because
it's so specific.
Yeah, dude. I like this episode a lot. Just like a lot of really silly stuff. I thought that was a reference to Discovery, that little headgear that girl wears in Discovery. Did you see that?
Yeah, but I was pretty sure it was a reference to The Game, which was an episode of Next Generation where there was a game that Riker brings back a game that you set on your head, like like headgear, and you watch these little funnels go into holes. And
oh yeah, I remember this episode.
And then he keeps replicating more, and it's like a cult of.
You may be right. I just thought it looked like that, but yeah, that does look similar as well.
Yep. So maybe it was either one. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
Oh man,
just good stuff. Good fun episode.
Yeah, dude. Did you see the freaking Abraham Lincoln skeleton with the spear through it?
Yes, I did.
That's from the Savage Curtain from the original series.
Right. I was like, oh, that's got to be from an episode. I don't know how that happened, but.
And they have canonically explained what happened to Spock, too. I've always wondered.
Spock 2? Tell me
okay,
more.
you remember when they walk into the gallery and there's like that freaking giant skeleton that has like a blue uniform on? That was Spock too. He was a giant, like 25-foot clone of Spock from Star Trek: The Animated Series.
Oh,
an episode called The Infinite Vulcan. So that was a giant clone of Spock that had died.
Wow, I did not know that at all. I mean, like I've never seen that animated series episode. That's wonderful.
Yep. I am pretty pleased with that one.
So many good things.
They in the background they had Beverly's sex scandal from Sub Rosa.
I don't even know that episode.
Do you not know what that is?
No, not off the top of my head.
That's the one that contains the ghost of Beverly's grandmother's ex-lover, who also has sex with Beverly.
That's some real Captain American energy right there.
Season 7, man. I don't know what happened.
I do vaguely remember that episode now that you describe it.
It's like some old Victorian candle ghost.
Victorian candle ghost. Oh yeah, I know all about those Victorian candle ghosts.
Yeah.
Can't miss them. They're all over fiction in the Western world.
Yep. Like, there's no way we can mention all the references on this episode, but they totally had the Catan probe from Inner Light in the background.
Really?
Hanging.
That's cool.
Yeah. They had, like, Masaka's mask from the episode Masks. Dude, they had the Betazoid gift box from Loxana's first episode, and it was like a box that like had a face on it that spoke and announced that Loxana was coming, and that character was played by Armin Shimmerman, which was fun. They had like the photon torpedo casing that was in the it was in a bunch of them, but it looked specifically like the one from the Schizoid Man. They had a Horta egg. They had the actual Mars Curiosity rover in there. Of course, Assault Vampire. They had a Gorn skeleton. They had a whole bunch of stuff. They had Khan's necklace. Did you see that?
No, definitely did not.
They totally had. In Riker's ready room, he has a Civil War hat.
Okay. I
would assume of his ancestor. That was mentioned in his episode of Voyager.
Yeah.
In Death Wish. They had the Caddiscot game that 7 of 9 and Neelix played in Voyager. They had friggin' a Mugato skeleton. They had Odo's bucket.
What?
Yep. And one of the things I saw like outright in my first viewing was I had my wife back it up because they had the Valiant beacon from Where No Man Has Gone Before. Like
wow.
That's why they even went into the barrier in the first place, and that's why Gary Mitchell got affected by that energy, is because they were, going after that ship.
Wow.
Yep, I was very pleased.
Yeah, it's super fun. Just a lot of super fun references. Like you said, I don't think this is the best episode of the show, but it is just jam-packed with fun references.
I saw someone point out that they had an ET skeleton, and he's even like holding up his finger.
Nice.
They have a humpback whale in there. Riker's ready room has the Pegasus model, which is neat. I want to go back through and rewatch it because I'm sure I missed stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure I did too, and I'm sure there's some things I'd never even get if I tried.
Yeah, I loved that they referenced that episode of TNG when they were like, "Is he the one? The most toys?" Were like, "Is he the one that tried to collect data?" They all tried to collect data.
Yeah, that's wonderful. It's one of my favorite. Yeah, they all try to collect data. Why wouldn't they leave Data alone? He just wanted to feel.
Did you see the box of Chateau Picard?
No, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's great.
Man. But yeah, I don't know that I have much else to say about this episode. Like
Yeah.
you said, it wasn't like incredibly deep. It was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude, agreed. Well, thanks for doing this podcast with me this week, Dave. It's fun. I'm sorry it was so late in the week.
Yeah, man.
That, and it's so late, literally. I had 4 podcasts scheduled for today. I had a Orville podcast this morning. Then I had 2 MCU casts podcasts scheduled. And then I had this. And as we were completing our second hour of MCU cast, like our second hour-long MCU cast.
The Spider-Man trailer dropped.
Yeah, it dropped at that exact, like literally we were reading our last piece of feedback and the Spider-Man trailer dropped and we're like, well, I guess we're going for another hour. So we just went for another hour. And then of course I had to edit that tonight. So I edited that and now it's like whatever 2 a.m. and we're just finally getting to the Star Trek episode. But next week we should definitely do it sooner if possible. I should be able to.
Hopefully I will be able to as well. Like I had a crazy week last week. I hope it's not as crazy this week.
Yeah, man. Yeah, my week was wild. I've never, been going to visit Alyssa in Dallas, but I had not flown yet. And this week I decided to fly. Some extenuating circumstances meant I couldn't drive and have any time over there, so I flew, and it all worked out great. But it like really kind of just, I don't know. I know I didn't change time zones, but somehow I feel jet lagged. Like I just feel like I just can't get I can't get awake. And when I flew back, I landed and had to be at a drone footage gig. Oh, well, I flew into town, then I had to drive to Montgomery and do a gig, and then drive back up to Birmingham, get like 4 hours of sleep, then wake up and do a drone footage gig in the morning, and then go on to like 2 other gigs that day. And it was just like gig after gig after thing after thing. It's just like I was just totally wiped out after all the travel and all the gigs.
Yeah, traveling and definitely traveling in this heat will really get it to you.
Yeah, dude.
Really do it to you. I mean, I get jet lagged getting up to go to the kitchen. Yeah. So
I feel that. But yeah, thanks guys for hanging out. Thanks everybody for listening to the Star Trek Universe podcast, and I can't wait to do this one next week, and maybe we'll actually get to do one of these top 5 deals next week.
Yeah, maybe so, man. Maybe so.
That would be nice. All right. Well, Jolan True, Dave.
Live long and prosper, and put Vaseline on your nipples.
Oh yeah, you got to.
Thank you for listening to the Star Trek Universe podcast, a Stranded Panda production. If you'd like to hear more from David C. Robertson, check out the DC On Screen podcast or maladjusted.tv for his web videos. If you'd like to hear more from Matthew Carroll, check out the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast or listen to his music. Just search for Matthew Carroll anywhere you get music.